Hey Gunners, here's a quick one. Let's forget about that Wolves game. We are going against Everton, and I've got a question for you. If Arsenal are going to win this league, is it going to be against the big teams or against the teams on a cold away day in a place like Everton? Because this Everton team is not about being pretty. There's a bigger question that Arsenal will need to answer. Is Arsenal willing to go to a team that are prepared to drag you through the mud and keep you there for 90 minutes in the whole game? Because Everton away does not look pretty. And I'm going to break it all down in this Everton versus Arsenal preview. But please hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to share this with as many Arsenal fans as possible. Let's build this community, guys. Let's get into our Arsenal preview. Everton against Arsenal. Okay, so from an Arsenal perspective, the mission is very simple. Control the first 20 minutes. Don't give them belief. Score first because Everton are going to be banking on a nil-nil draw late into this game. Don't turn the game into duels and crosses unless it's on our own terms. The Villa loss showed what happens when momentum swings very late in the game. And of course, Wolves also showed what happens when a team sits deep and waits for Arsenal to break them down. And Arsenal did not have those ideas. Everton would try the same, but with more physicality, with more aerial duels, with more set piece threat. So Arsenal have got to beware. Okay, what's Everton doing right now? So I had a look, went back and watched, the Everton's last couple of games. And Everton's recent form under David Moyes, forget the loss that they just had to Chelsea, is actually very decent. They've won 3 of their last 5 games in the Premier League. And when they win those games, they keep a clean sheet. And that bit matters for Arsenal. Since Moyes came back in January, Everton has stacked up wins without conceding at a rate only a couple of early teams match. So Everton don't just go into those games without a game plan. They are actually defensively solid, especially in games that they win and they actually score first. Because when they score first, they actually don't concede. So Arsenal are going to have to be mindful about that. Everton have a formula that they repeat in every game. They like to defend first, they stay compact, win second balls, set pieces, and then they nick their moments. As you can tell from the results that they've had, results against Newcastle, results against Bournemouth, and there's another team that I've forgotten right now. But in those wins, Everton did not actually concede a goal. Now, the most likely shape that Everton are going to bring into this game, they're probably going to play four at the back. Now, they've had a couple of key important players that have gone to the AFCON. We're talking about Dye, who's not going to be there. Um, Potentially, you might not have Drewsbury Hall. He might not play, but I have a feeling that he might be available for this game. Then you've also got O'Brien, Keane, Tarkowski, Mykolenko. I expect these guys to come into the back with Pickford in goal. James Garner, I expect him to play in that midfield. And then you expect to see Dwight McNeil, I expect him to also play in this game. Grealish to play. Alcaraz, maybe Tyler Dipley might come into this game as well, and then Barry up front. Although there's suspicion that Everton might actually start with Beto because he's been looking quite good in training and is almost ready to start. I suspect that he's going to start in this game. Drewsbury Hall has been in very good form. I know he kind of left out of that game holding his calf, but I have a feeling that he might play in this game. So Everton can flex between a compact mid block, which is what they like to do, that protects their block, and a very nasty, disruptive midfield when they want to kill rhythm. And Goye is also back after suspension, so he might actually find himself in the middle of that pack and provide a little bit more bite for Everton. Everton's strengths are pretty clear. They defend their box. This game will have long stretches where Arsenal are outside the block thinking. Think about what happened in Wolves and just magnify it with a lot better players because that's what Everton is going to do. And we're going to be thinking, where's the gap? Arsenal needs to get the lineup right. They need to get the players that start this game right. Um, Everton want you to be taking shots, hopeful shots. Pickford is very, very good at shot stopping. So Everton are going to be happy with you taking shots from outside of the box all day. Floated crosses, they're going to be happy because they've got the height. They've got the likes of Tarkowski. They've got the likes of Keane, to head those balls out. So Arsenal are going to find it very difficult to try and beat Everton with crosses. And I dare say that Gyökeres is going to have a tough day against those Everton defenders. Right. And Everton want you to make that one more pass. One more pass. Just remember this. Everton are going to want to make you do one more pass. If we watch that game against Wolves, Arsenal cannot afford to do the one more pass when they are building up and trying to get to Everton's goal because that's exactly what Everton want. And we cannot play into Everton's hand. We made a lot of 2 touches, 3 touches before we made movements against Wolves. We've got to make this quick. We're going to have quick passes, one-touch football if we need to take away what Everton are good at. Then set pieces and threat on second balls. If the game is late, Everton will go full corners, wide free kicks, throw-ins, chaos, and they also make it emotional. We're playing at their home ground. So Everton is going to want the crowd to get involved in this game. And this is Moyes' best ball. This is how Moyes' ball at his best works. So they're going to make it physical, make it ugly, and this game is going to be about concentration for Arsenal. What Arsenal can exploit, if Arsenal are going to win this game, it's usually through 3 things. The first is going to be pace of circulation. I've already talked about that. This is not just about possession. We can't just hold the ball, pass it around just for the sake of it. Arsenal are going to have to make quick passes because Everton are going to be happy to concede the possession to Arsenal. Arsenal will probably have about 70% possession in this game, but Everton will make it slow possession. So it's possession without penetration, without intrusion. So this is what Everton are going to want to try and do, and Arsenal need to make sure that they don't fall into that. So the key is fast switching, quick 10-man runs, and early cutbacks. Now, we're going to have to drag their center backs into making decisions in this game. If Tarkowski and Keane are comfortable heading and clearing all day because all we're doing is getting crosses in, it's going to become a grind. Arsenal's job is to really force them into turning around, stepping out of their shape, choosing runners and defending cutback. So it's really going to be important who's going to be playing in that front of Arsenal. What Eze or Trossard, I would like to see Trossard in this game because I think this is the kind of game that Trossard would actually do well in because he can take the ball and it's not just going to be about running, on the outside to get in. It's going to be about coming inside and maybe passing those through balls to split between the defenders and the fullbacks of Everton so that they can turn around and they are running. They're not very good at this. If Arsenal can capitalize on this, I think they're going to have some success. And the third thing is going to be winning that rest defense battle because Everton's best moments are going to come from turnover, one direct ball into Arsenal's box and the second phase inside the box. So Arsenal's structure behind the ball matters more than pretty triangles. And Arsenal typically like to have that rest defense of 3+2, when they're actually building up into. We've kind of lost that a little bit, but I expect Mikel Arteta to go back to that, especially in this game, because he's probably seen the same thing that, I've probably seen when I've been looking at this game. So the midfield battle for Arsenal is really going to be key here. Everton are not going to want to play in that part of the field. So that means that this midfield has to have pace, has to have intention. Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, they've got to be key here. And Odegaard has to be on his game, especially with regards to the final pass, because Everton are not going to give a lot of spaces. So when we do actually turn the ball over, the few times that Everton allow that to happen, we need to punish them. We need to actually punish them and we need to score early. The first 20 minutes is so critical in this game. I cannot say it anymore because if Arsenal do not take advantage of the first 20 minutes, this game is going to be very, very difficult. Arsenal needs to play this like a chess match, not like a scrap 50-50, because this is exactly what plays into Everton's hand. Now, there's only three realistic scripts in this game. The first, Arsenal score first. Everton have to open up. Arsenal then control the game. 0-0 at 70, which is the second script. Everton grow into it. Set pieces become a problem for Arsenal. Then if Everton score first, this is the worst case scenario. The game becomes a test of Arsenal's patience and emotional control. That's why the opening 20 minutes matter so much in this game. Listen, I tried to think about, who's the best players that Arsenal can go into this game. I like to see that defensive solidity come back in our game. So Nkapie and Saliba probably start this game at the back. But Calafiori comes back that left back position, and Uran Timber returns to the right back position. Obviously, we got Ben White injured now. Then you've got Zubimendi and Rice, playing in that midfield. And then there are decisions to be made. Frankly speaking, I would start with Odegaard and I will start with Eze in this game because we need attacking threats in this game. We need to actually start the way that we started against West Ham. And I know that in that game, Zubimendi stayed on the bench. But perhaps this is a game that you actually start with Eze, Odegaard, and then you have Trossard on the left. You have Saka on the right, and then you have Gyökeres up front, which means that Rice or Zubimendi might not be in this. I mean, this is what I would want to see, but I suspect that Mikel Arteta is not going to do that. We'll probably see Eze on the bench with Odegaard playing. Maybe we might see Trossard coming in that left-hand side and then Saka and Gyökeres up front. So I'm going to say that Arsenal win this, but not comfortably, right? I cannot see Arsenal scoring 2 goals in this game. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 to Arsenal. This is one of those scrappy games that you just take the 3 points and you move on, right? And if you check my other video around what Arsenal is going to need to win the Premier League, this is one of those games away from home that you've got to take points from. Doesn't care about the performance necessarily. This is about taking the points. A 1-0 victory would do us here. So guys, let me know what you think about this prediction or this preview for the Everton game. What would you do differently? How are you feeling after that Wolves game? Hit the like and subscribe button as well. Hit the comment section as well and let me know what you think about the Arsenal score for this game. And like I say, this is the beginning of the business end. With 36 points of the Premier League, Arsenal need 54 more points because I believe that the points total that will be required to win the league will be 90. And in order to get to 90 points, it starts with Everton. So guys, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.